Today, we're diving into something that could be a genuine revolution in how artificial intelligence thinks. A brand new research paper is suggesting a totally different approach to AI reasoning, and honestly, it might just change everything we thought we knew.
But hang on a second. Before we jump into the future, we have to ask a really important question about right now. Can the AI we use every single day truly reason? The answer, well, it's a lot more complicated than you might think.
So, to really get why this new approach is such a game changer, we first have to talk about AI's big reasoning problem. We need to understand the very real limits of the models we're working with today.
Right now, the main method AI uses to solve problems is something called chain of thought, or COT for short. You can pretty much picture it as the AI thinking out loud. It breaks down a tough problem into a simple step-by-step list to figure out the answer. This is the engine running behind most of the AI you interact with.
But here's the thing, and it's a big one. This chain of thought method has some serious flaws. For one, it's brittle. If a problem is even a tiny bit different from what it's seen before, it can just fall apart. It's also incredibly data hungry, needing just massive amounts of data to learn. And on top of all that, it's slow. These aren't small issues. They're a huge bottleneck holding back what AI can really do.
Okay, so if the current way is broken, where do you look for a better one? Well, the researchers behind this new model look to the one place that's an undisputed expert in reasoning, our own brain. And this gets to the absolute core of the idea. See, our brains don't just think in a straight line. Our reasoning is hierarchical. We're thinking about the big picture and the tiny details at the same time, kind of operating on different levels and at different speeds all at once.
Think about how you solve a puzzle. First, right, there's that slow, careful moment where you're just looking at the whole thing, trying to come up with a strategy. That's step one. Then, once you have a plan, you move to step two. You start putting the pieces together quickly, making all those little moves and calculations almost without thinking. Slow plan, fast action.
And this brings us to the incredible solution these researchers came up with. It's a totally new kind of architecture built on that exact human principle. And it's called the Hierarchical Reasoning Model, or HRM.
The HRM model is designed from the ground up to copy that two-stage thinking process we just talked about. This isn't just a minor update to an old model. We're talking about a completely different way of building an AI. Here's a fantastic way to picture how it works. The HRM has two main parts that are totally interdependent. First, you've got the architect. That's the high-level part doing the slow, abstract planning. Then you've got the builder, the low-level part that takes the architect's brilliant plan and just churns through all the fast, detailed work to get the job done.
So that's the theory, right? A brain-inspired model with an architect and a builder. Sounds cool, but does it actually work? Well, this is where things get really, really impressive. Let's take a look at the performance. Okay, get ready for this, because it's kinda nuts. The entire HRM model has only 27 million parameters. Now, parameters are like the little knobs and dials an AI uses to learn. For comparison, the big models you hear about have hundreds of billions, sometimes even trillions of them. This thing is microscopic.
And it gets even wilder. To get these incredible results, HRM only needed about 1,000 training examples. Not millions, not billions. 1,000. The efficiency here is it's off the charts.
So how on earth does it do this? Well, it just works in a completely different way. It solves problems in one single efficient go. It doesn't need to be pre-trained on gigantic datasets, and it completely sidesteps that flawed chain of thought method. It just reasons.
And here is the proof. This chart shows how it did on the Abstraction and Reasoning Corpus, or ARC. Now, this isn't just any old test. ARC is a really important benchmark designed specifically to see how close an AI is to true, flexible, general intelligence. And as you can plainly see, this tiny little model just blows its much, much larger competitors out of the water.
And it wasn't a one-trick pony either. The model got nearly perfect scores on other famously hard reasoning tasks, like solving ridiculously complex Sudoku puzzles that would make most of us cry, and finding the absolute best path through huge, complicated mazes. So let's just recap. A tiny, super efficient model is outperforming the giants. This isn't just a quirky result. It could signal a massive shift for the entire field of AI. So what does this actually mean for the future? Well, the researchers themselves think this is way more than just a small step forward.
They call it a potential transformative advancement toward general-purpose reasoning systems. So in their own words, this isn't just a better model. It's a whole new way to build AI.
And this all points to the ultimate prize. The whole quest for artificial general intelligence, for AGI, isn't really about building bigger and bigger pattern-matching machines. It's about creating systems that can actually reason, flexibly and efficiently. And models like HRM, these smaller, faster, better thinkers, they could be a massive piece of that puzzle.
So that leaves us with one final, fascinating thought to chew on. For years, the big race in AI has been all about who can build the biggest model. But if a tiny, brain-inspired AI can reason this well, what happens next?